Hi guys, I've got something interesting for you today. This is actually Resident Evil 1.5, as it's been unofficially named. This is the scrapped, incomplete version of Resident Evil 2 that did not make the final cut. I think they got fairly far along in the development, and they decided to just scrap it and start over from the beginning, giving us the game that we all know and love. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what's different about it. So there's good old Leon S. Kennedy. And in this version, the other character is a young lady named Elza Walker. I believe from some of the early press releases I read, she was supposed to be some kind of motorcycle stunt rider or something, who just so happened to get caught in Raccoon City during the outbreak. It's pretty easy to see that she ultimately ended up becoming Claire Redfield. A lot of differences in this version are pretty much cosmetic in nature. But because she's new and different, I'll go ahead and select her. So she starts off in the lobby. You can see there's a barrier in place keeping these kind of generic placeholder looking zombies out. I think that's her motorcycle here. Seems like the crash broke the axle. Poor thing. Now the thing about this game is it's kind of a glitchy mess. It's pretty much unplayable without using the debug menu. So that's what I'm going to do here. A lot of the doors that you see either don't work at all or they don't logically connect to the area that they're supposed to. I think this is one of the rare ones that does work. So yeah, we have a zombie cop there with a bit of a weight problem. And here's kind of a broken cutscene. I don't think he is listening. And if I run off this way, I just kind of get lost over here. So I'm going to go ahead and debug out of here. Not sure why this scrolls so quickly. You'll have to bear with me. Lobby corridor. So the police station in this version looks a lot more like a modern office building. In other words, more like a real police station would. In the familiar version of Resident Evil 2, the police station is this kind of weird gothic library. This is an office space behind the reception desk, I think. And it's pretty clear that these zombies are meant to get up and follow you around. In fact, if you're playing as Leon, they do that. They just kind of jump up, try to grab you. I don't seem to have any ammunition or weapons. Leon has a few weapons, but they don't seem to have ammunition. I don't know if the debug can do anything about that. I'm not really sure how the controls work there. But yeah, this is the version of Resident Evil that I saw in magazines back in the late 90s when they first announced it. And I thought it looked pretty compelling. I think the reason they ultimately scrapped this was because it looked too much like the first one. The zombies were kind of pale and kind of slow moving, and they just wanted to go in a different direction. But I, for one, really wish they would finish this and release it. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would pay money for it, because I'm a fan of the old school Resident Evils. Loved 1, 2, 3, and Veronica. This is an area you can't get out of. Resident Evil 4 was a good action game. I don't think it was that great of a horror game, though. And it definitely changed the formula up. I mean, I didn't mind the over-the-shoulder camera that much, but I don't know. It just set the series off in a different direction, and 5 and 6 were, I don't know, they kind of lost me there. 6 was like another Call of Duty game, almost. Kind of ridiculous. I loved the remakes on the GameCube. Those were fantastic. Well, I guess they just remade 1, and then Resident Evil 0 was kind of a side story that I thought was pretty good. But yeah, I miss the old ones. And if this weren't so broken, I think I would have a lot of fun. Just sort of exploring. So that guy there is John Kendo, the owner of the Kendo Gun Shop. He still does make an appearance in the final Resident Evil 2. He's the guy who gets eaten alive 5 minutes into the game. I don't know if he was meant to play more of a role in this one, or if he's just being used as sort of a placeholder character. Yeah, the bald-headed zombies are a lot like the Resident Evil 1 zombies. I think these guys are supposed to get up, but they're not. Yeah. I don't think this room loads anything. Oh, this is interesting. It's one of the weird neoclassical paintings that you see in the Resident Evil games, but they have kind of a placeholder for a puzzle there. Insert here riddle. It's kind of funny. Whether you push it or not, it doesn't do anything, and I don't think you can do anything else in here. Just sort of disappear off screen. This is the police chief's office. Looks like a modern high-rise office building. There's a model of the city on the table here, and you see the chief himself kind of glitching out. Or, yeah, there he is. Glitching out all over the place. The game crashed last time when I tried to talk to him when I was playing as Leon. And this thing here looks like the containment unit from Ghostbusters, but all you can do is climb up on it. This triggers another sort of proto-cutscene with John Kendo. Looks like he shoots the birds off of you or something. You need to run over there and help him push those crates off. I'm not doing anything. And I think this puts me back in an area I was already in. Like the nice pitch black corridor here. I'd love to play a later build if one exists. This you can't really play, you just kind of look around a little bit. But it's interesting to see what could have been. This is a gun range. I think those are big, I don't know, are those piles of hay or tarps or what? Oh, and here we have a giant who walks through the walls. That's what happens when you have pre-rendered backgrounds without boundaries set in place. I'm going to actually reload this room because there's kind of an interesting event in here. If you go over and grab something off the shelf here, big dogs pop out. Those are pretty much the same dogs you see in the final release. guessing that's Leon. Roy, this is a joke. Huh. Interesting. What? Huh. Interesting. This looks a little bit like the stars room. Don't think there's anything I can do in here. Let's see, where haven't we been before? Armory? Ah. Garage B. Tried to grab the item and I walked through the wall. I guess this is the motor pool. Umbrella. Okay. Kennel. Huh. Some interesting names on the dog kennels there. There's Claire. I believe Piers was a character from Resident Evil 6. Boiler room. There's John Kendo again, holding an imaginary gun. Following me, creepily. Morgue. This looks promising. Oh, there's a zombie. I think that was a jump scare that pretty much made it into the final game. I do remember a morgue. Prisons. It's just somebody's cell. Another corridor, mirror room. Can't do anything in here. I think this is pretty much where the liquor jumped through in Resident Evil 2. Been here. I think I've been here. Okay, looks like that's everything. There are some things that are different when you play as Leon. I think I'm going to do some creative editing here and show you some of those. I'm playing as Leon. As I mentioned earlier, he has a few guns, but no ammo at the moment. And when you're playing as him, the zombies break through that barrier there. It's kind of interesting. Let's see, I think there's a little surprise for Leon in one of those garages. Garage B, oops. Let's try that. Okay. Yes, he sees, I think that's Sherry Birkin. Okay, there's something else. I think that's an early version of Ada Wong. Yes, we have these huge gorilla enemies. Kinda freaky. I think these did make an appearance in Resident Evil 0 or something like them. They seem pretty formidable. Go ahead and jump out of here. Let's see, I think the prisons has a little surprise for Leon. Yes. We just have these really kind of phony looking placeholder arms popping out of these cells, and I think do they grab you? No, I guess they can't here. But anyway, this is kind of an iconic scene. In fact, when I bought my PlayStation 1, there was a scene of Leon running down this hallway with arms coming after him. It was sort of a, I don't know, I guess a teaser for Resident Evil 2, which was not out yet. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. This is Resident Evil 1.5. This was not released. It was scrapped early in its development, but I kind of wish I could play a more complete version of it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.